99.3 Nigeria Info. Yes, we're back with Dailies Today Part 2, sponsored by MTN Nigeria. I'm Sheriff Quadry, and Jimi Disu is here with me. Jimi, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning, Sheriff. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fine.
So the papers are here again.
Yeah.
It's time for us to take a look at them again. Okay. Lagos should be a part of this as well. You know, the portals, the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, we're streaming live. But let's get a break. We're back with the analysis of the headlines in a moment.
Dailies Today will be right back. Welcome back to Dailies Today. Dailies Today.
Dailies Today.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, we're back on Dailies Today, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Lagos, let's start our conversation as usual. We will not be taking calls, but we'll take your messages on WhatsApp and Twitter. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, we'll take your messages as well there. We'll take your comments there. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube is Nigeria Info 99.3. WhatsApp is 0809 597 5805. That's 0809 597 5805. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM, at Jimi Disu as well. So once you drop in a comment, give Jimi Disu a tag so we can track them. Hashtag Morning Crossfire, very important, so we can read up your tweets. So here we go. Let's start with Vanguard newspaper this morning. 10.4 trillion naira, 10.43 trillion naira subsidy. You are wrong. Industry stakeholders, others tell FG. I'll just take a part of that, Jimmy. The stakeholders are saying, especially Pengerson, they're saying that what government is presenting is a figure it prepared, which we doubt because we are aware that marketers falsify figures to get bogus subsidy claims. This has led to what is generally regarded as subsidy scam. They said quite a number of things as well in that report by Vanguard.
You know, I can say almost authoritatively, since 1982 or thereabouts, that we've had this problem, that nobody can actually give you any correct figures in the oil industry. Nobody. Because it's ridden with corruption, ridden with intrigues, manipulation, name it. Even Pengerson nobody can give you a correct figure, which is sad.
Quite sad.
It is very sad. We've had economists hit their head against the wall, trying hard, going back and forth, trying to see if they can get the correct figures. Nobody can. And again, I'm sorry I'm sounding like a broken record. It's part of the dysfunctional society and country that we run. Nobody can actually give you, even the government figures are suspect. Yes, they're right. I mean, if Pengerson is telling you something, you should know they are the workers.
Yeah.
If any figures are going to be rattled up, it's the workers that are going to provide the base information. It is very sad. That's why I say that the issue is beyond just oil subsidy. But the issue is a larger issue, which, if not addressed, will lead this country into extinction. That's my view about this.
That's how bad it can get.
That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. And we're now moving slowly to the precipice. A lot of us thought that there'd be there'd be a change and a shift with Buhari in the saddle.
Right.
But unfortunately, it hasn't been the same. Don't forget, the Buhari we have now is slightly different from the Buhari we had in his first 4 years. I don't know, speculations here and there. I don't know if the death of one or two persons has contributed to him being a bit more open.
Yeah.
Now telling his ministers to go fight for the image of government and so on and so forth. For the first 4 years or thereabout, he was quite aloof, if you get what I'm trying to imply, without saying things. I don't see anything. Unfortunately, I don't see anything good in the horizon as we are currently structured.
Right.
We'll keep going from one crisis to the other. The good thing, though, is that nobody is being deceived to go hit the streets and talk about subsidy. Okay, I think that a lot of Nigerians now their back is which is a dangerous place to be. They've tried subsidy, they've tried this, and so their back is against the wall. They're doing some kind of sit-down look. A very dangerous place to be. If I were the politicians, I would know that the second yellow card is in the horizon. And after a second yellow, what do you get?
Red card, ni. Let's look at another story from Vanguard. Christian elders oppose another constitutional amendment. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard. It comes with 4 riders. Makes case for conference of ethnic nationalities to renegotiate Nigeria as prerequisite for new constitution. Adopt report of 2014 National Conference. Advocate a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Dismissed insinuations that go on took Nigeria to OIC.
Well, let me first of all clear the air about something so people would understand. These are Christian elders. This is not Khan.
Yeah.
These are just a group of people who legitimately have gotten together. I think the youngest of them would be in his 70s. Most of them are in their 80s. Let me read somewhere there. You have General Dongoyaro, Professor Tubu, General Zamani Lekwot, General Theophilus Danjuma, Dr. Chukwemeke Ezeife, Priscilla Kuye, and others. And they meet from time to time to look at the state of the nation. But you see, unfortunately, I get a sense that they probably don't understand the need for us to appreciate where we are now rather than where we are coming from. Some of them could actually be held responsible for where we are now. And therefore, some of the things they are complaining about are things that they took part in, and that's where we found ourselves. And so the argument about who took Nigeria to OIC, believe you me, is completely irrelevant in today's. We have enough problems on our hands than to try and correct history as to who took Nigeria to the OIC and who didn't. Ask any young 30, 35-year-old, he doesn't even know what OIC is all about.
Very true.
Now, we must admit that we have a democracy in place. We have a House of Reps, we have senators. Okay, we have the Senate. And whatever anybody might feel about the occupants of that office, it behoves on us to actually agree, whether we agree or not, that is what it is.
Right.
These are the voted representatives of the people. Okay, and they are the ones who have the mandate to do things and say things on behalf of the people and make laws.
Right.
So this idea of one national conference, I don't particularly like that idea. Handpick people. You say we should have a conference of ethnic nationalities. Who's going to determine who should go and who should not go? Don't let's create any confusion.
Who qualifies as an ethnic group or not?
Yes, we need to explain to our people that when you are voting in your representatives, vote in people who will take your interests at heart. Don't vote in people who will give you money, or don't vote in Robin Hoods who will go to the center,
Jimmy, we need to have some form of conversation.
Yeah.
How do we have that? How do we make sure that everybody is included in that conversation when the time comes? How do we make sure that we don't exclude anybody?
Well, I'm sure you've been doing, and I've been doing that for the past 20 years.
Yes, we have.
I've always said to my people during my programs that, look, listen, don't vote for people for the wrong reasons. Don't vote for people who give you sewing machines and keke napep and all these things. Vote for people who will take your. But unfortunately, the greatest casualty of poverty is right thinking. When a man is poor, and I think the Nigerians have been impoverished deliberately by the elite class. I think it's done.
Deliberately.
Look at how many politicians have you seen that have built a library in their neighborhood? When they're doing this so-called nonsense empowerment, it's always about buying error lotta, sewing machine, and things like that to keep the people. How many of them have said, no, what I want is I need our people. Look, a lot of them today, some of your senators, some of them, they read in public libraries established by the elite of that time, or the religious bodies. Some of them read under the lamppost and so on and so forth. I mean, so in that sense, but back again to this group.
Yeah.
One of they say that they also want, where did I see it here now? A Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I don't mind that. They can set it up.
Okay.
And they should be the first, they should fire the first shot and apologize to Nigerians for the various anomalies that we have seen in the way we run our country. How many where will I start from? Is it those who took part in coups? Is it those who sat in the comfort of their homes and oil wells were brought to them and they had no expertise and were now shopping for partners? Is that how to have run a country? Let's be honest with ourselves. They need to purge themselves.
Right.
Set the first, their elders, let them set those who have been given these or whatever should return them. Purge yourselves first. Then we can have a truth and reconciliation. Go grab those who are in retirement and still cannot walk well. Go meet them with the wheelchair and drag them in. And then come and explain things and apologize. Until that, I'm not too impressed with all this.
Okay. Let's stay with the Vanguard, Jimmy. We have this interesting story here on page 10 of the Vanguard. Oyo traditionalists storm governor's office, protest discrimination. I'll take a look at that story. Traditional worshippers under the aegis of Traditional Religion Worshippers Association. I never knew they had one. And Trewa, Oyo State chapter, yesterday staged a peaceful protest over what they termed discrimination against the body by the state government. The worshippers who staged a protest at the front of the Oyo State Government Secretariat complex carried placards. They carried placards.
Well, I'm a self-appointed member of this group. Yes, even though I'm a Christian. And I'll advise them that next time, instead of carrying placards, I'll be Wuja Day and all kinds of things. You see, look, listen, listen, we are all a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're a bunch of hypocrites. How can an African country recognize just two religions, Christianity and Islam?
You know I'm with you on that, right?
Yes.
Like, how?
And then you throw the baby away with the bathwater and you don't recognize our own indigenous religions. There's something wrong with our thinking.
I think I'm with you totally on that one.
Africans are not going to go forward until they recognize the things that are indigenous to them. Until they recognize that some of these religions, I'm not saying the religions are bad. I'm a Christian and I'll always be. But these religions were used as a weapon, okay, to turn their minds around. But guess what? That's why, where do I say we're hypocrites? Once you have a problem that goes beyond something, but let's go back home. We have to recognize that indeed, I think that our society will be better run. Do you know why Islam and Christianity is most attractive amongst all other things?
Why?
Two things. One, to practice them, you don't need much. You go to a church today now, they say, who are those who are worshiping here for the first time? You put up your hand, they put you in one small room, give you a bottle of soft drink and biscuit, you have become a member. What do you do? I'm a journalist. Okay, you will be a PRO, then you become a full-fledged member. And it's as simple as that. In Islam, it's even easier. Once they say Safu and you join them, that's it. But to take part in religious worship is rigorous. It is rigorous, and we are not tuned to wanting to do any form of hard work. It's rigorous when they are doing the chanting and whatever. You have to go learn it.
Yeah, you have to learn it.
The second thing is that those two major religions, Christianity and Islam, preach forgiveness. Traditional worship can be very, very. Once they tell you, don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh, if you do it, this is a penalty.
They tell you the easiest one is when they tell you that leave this married woman alone. Don't go there. But you've seen people being brought out of houses and hotels with wheelbarrows and whatever. Then they have to pour something incantation of them to separate them. So, jokes apart now,
Yeah.
we have to recognize our own. We have to recognize our own. I'm a very, very strong advocate.
What
of
do you
that.
what do you think the reaction of the people would be like if government comes out with a policy to say, okay, we're recognizing officially the third religion. So if you're in court and you're about to take the oath, you have to take the oath with either of these.
Most people will run for cover. What is even sad is that we Africans, with our own mouths, proclaim our own religions to be evil. How does that sound to you? Meanwhile, it is the same place you run back to when things get
When you're
all
in
right
trouble.
and you're in trouble. It's the same place. Don't let's be hypocrites here. Everybody has a way to run home that some will just say, Ekobami, just help me tell Mama, and she will sort it out. Give her this 10,000, she'll go and sort it out. Sort what out? I believe that if Africans had stuck to their religious practices, we'd have a better society.
You're talking to people this morning. You're really hitting,
you understand?
You're hitting home.
If we had stuck to our own traditional whatever,
Right.
we would have a much better society than we have now.
So what did they expect the government of Oyo State to do?
What the government needs to do is, first of all, recognize them. The government of Nigeria recognizes only Christians and Muslims. Public holiday for Christians. At public events, you have let somebody say.
Yeah.
For starters, I don't even believe in saying prayers at public events. An event goes straight sing the national anthem or whatever and go straight into the event because the people of various, and don't
Very
forget,
true.
the traditional ones are even divided far along the line. So let's keep religion out of it. Look, the hypocrisy of it, we must always have God in everything we do. In a lie, they tell you he's a man of God. It's not lie. It's just a way of you know now. You know how come, for example, in the Kama law, don't forget that the Kama law did not even target religious bodies per se.
Yeah.
How come they were the loudest? It's because we've used religion as a conspiracy. Look at this one. Look at this. I don't want to read it, but look at this.
They can't see you.
Yeah, they can't see me, thank God. But it's all we've used it as we've always used it as a hiding place. You know, Nigerians want to boast
like a shelter.
Before Nigerians would boast and say, "But look at Sherifu, I made him." But recently they've changed the narrative to say, "I was the one God used to make him." What are you saying? Is it not this? We use religion as a cover.
Right.
Traditional religion doesn't allow you such things. If you, I don't know about now, but I have a feeling that, for example, to put your hands in a traditional religious cookie jar, your hands could get stuck there till somebody.
It's true. It's true now.
I'm telling you.
It's true. It's really true.
So we need to do a rethink. I'm not saying stop people from becoming Christians, Muslims, El Kanka, Grill movement. No, I'm not saying that. But let us recognize our own. And so I join these people in faith. Next time they want to, they should please call me. I'd gladly join them. Okay. But they shouldn't ask me to do any incantation because I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah, you can learn.
Can't you say something?
Oh, someone tell you.
Look at this one.
There's nothing
look at the left pocket.
Don't be fumbling. No.
Sheriff, look at. Don't let me bring what.
Don't bring it.
But it's my wallet.
Eh?
I wanted to give you money.
Jimmy. Let's look at another story quickly. Okay, so there was this report yesterday or so. This is a reaction to that report. No one purchased airplanes for us. Air Peace. So the management of Air Peace has just said that the former special advisor to the president on Nigerian affairs and chairman of the Presidential Amnesty Office, Kingsley Kuku, never purchased aircraft for the airline, contrary to a recent online report describing it as a rehash of old false stories. That is the one there from the Vanguard.
Look, the story actually said that the United States Department of Justice alleged, that Kingsley Kuku inadvertently was the one who provided the funds for the setting up of the Air Peace, and they also indicted the Air Peace MD owner, Onyema, and so on and so forth. But this has been going on for a while. I want to talk to Onyema today and tell him, look, if you want to save your name and that of your family, go do the needful, go challenge them in court, have your day in court, and we will see what comes out of it. To blow hot air in the newspapers and say that no, this is false or not, that's old-fashioned hat. The Department of Justice has too many cases for them to want to target somebody for any other purpose.
Right.
Do you think that anybody will be convinced that there's no smoke without fire? Okay, now, so why not just take us down history, memory lane, and tell us exactly where the funds from Airpeace, give a correct chronology of where all this is coming from. You see, we need to be very careful with the kind of things that we are getting, the hush puppy and this and that, and a lot of funds. We need to be very, very careful, and the government also needs to be careful who they quote and unquote support. I'd say that the government should work together with the Department of Justice, because if for any reason it is true, this is our money. It is not just our money. These were monies set aside to bring peace to the Niger Delta. So if it is true that that is where these monies have ended up, sure, we should go grab those things.
Right.
Oyema is going to have a tough time. You know, this is the way it works out. You talk, you keep talking, and then people urge you on. But it's going to have a tough time. Right. I want to see how it's going to fly international.
That's going to be tough. Really.
It's going to be tough for him.
It's going to be tough.
I want to see how it's going to fly international, and he won't get his plane seized and whatever.
It's going to be tough.
He should hop on a plane, go and have his day in court, and put this thing behind him if he knows that he's innocent.
Let's look at another story quickly. We're moving on to the Punch right now. Cases of depression rising, says medical doctor. Let's start it with this one here that says UN urges Nigeria to prioritize school safety, learners protection. It's a story from the Nation newspaper.
Okay, so we have this. No, it was this story. This body of benchers.
This one here. Body of benchers.
Yeah, the story is body of benchers bars parents from call. There's a call to bar ceremony.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be held in Eagle Square because of COVID, and they're telling parents don't come. Okay, they have it in the open, and I'm saying, look, just this morning, the United Kingdom by 10:11, the Prime Minister is going to put before Parliament. Yeah. That not more than 6 persons should be gathered, socially or otherwise, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
Because look, so what I'm saying is, you could still have this call to bar and not have the lawyers physically present. And that now dovetailed into this one that says that the cases of depression is rising, and I hope that this is also a result of COVID.
Yeah.
What actually frightened me also is that this morning on CNN it was reported that people who had COVID in the past 6 months later were still experiencing the symptoms.
6 months later.
6 months later. So there is a slight thinking that is it possible that this COVID would never go away once it latches onto you? Some of them were still being breathless, they were still weak. So in the midst, why I tied these two together is that in the midst of doubt, where we are not sure, some people who surrendered themselves to be volunteers to test the vaccine, one of them has fallen sick again, so they've had to halt everything.
Right.
The companies, the medical companies, about 8 of them or so, have issued a statement that because of the politics in America, they will not be pressurized to produce a vaccine. In fact, Dr. Fauci, the chief medical officer in the States, says that they are not likely to have a vaccine till December. Yeah. I think that we need to be very careful.
Right.
I'd like to call on the body of benchers, please find a way to give these gentlemen and ladies their certificates, and let's stop getting nothing I said in life is sacrosanct but life itself.
Right.
Nothing is sacrosanct but life itself, and that's the message I think one would want to put across in this regard.
Let's quickly take a look at this headline from The Nation. Buhari orders quick release of 2.3 trillion naira stimulus funds. Government to create millions of jobs, says Oshin Bajo.
Yes, what they're trying to do is to put some money in infrastructural development.
Stimulate the economy. Yeah.
But with the way they were running just the 774,000 jobs for just 3 months, with the way that was going around, I am not sure that the benefit of this would also go around. I hope it doesn't lead to Okay, now you give somebody a contract to do this road from this place to that place. Then you go to the contractor and say, it must be people, the names I give you and the people you use. Let us be fair and, equal to everybody. But at the same time, I'd like to ask young people, please open up your eyes. Okay, take your eyes off those idle people who are spending 2 months in a room in between bed sheets and so on and so forth, and look for the opportunities that could come out of a thing like this. They're going to be looking for young engineers who can, they're opening up the space for young engineers and so on and so forth. They're looking at, Oshiba said, we are looking at funding from the structured loans. We are looking at the demand, $1.5 million doors, so there'll be jobs for carpenters. 1.8 million window frames, 7.8 million hinges, 300,000 homes. It's there. This story is in the Nation. If I were you, I'd go get a copy, and it's the front page lead story. Buhari orders script release. I don't think our young people should give up. Keep trying. I read a story, I don't know if you saw it, of a guy who was a security guard at a bank. Okay, and when he heard that the bank, the bank put up some ad, needed staff, he applied and he got the job. He came first in the what do you call this in the aptitude test. Yes, he came first and he got the job. So don't just sit back and say you are sure that this will happen. No, try your luck. That's what we always tell people. Try your luck. But we'd also like the government to be transparent with these opportunities. Let us have some healthy competition and use our very best.
Let's our politicians not hijack every opportunity the government is trying to put out there.
They hijacked recruitment into the civil service. Now you have a civil service that is completely dismal. If you talk to some of the chief executives that you have, both at state and federal level, if you can box them up in a soundproof room, they'll tell you that the level of the capacity in the civil service is dismal, and that's why at the very top everything is hands-on. If you're a chief executive, you have to do almost everything yourself, because the recruitment process has been bastardized. Do you get what I'm saying?
And it didn't start today.
It didn't start today, and it's very. 20-something years of democracy. A neophyte who was recruited at level 8, and don't forget, people like that always get promoted. By now, will almost be a PAMSEC.
Yeah.
And that's why you find, we are going to open the airport today. No, we are going to open it tomorrow. We are going to do this. No, we are going to do that. In the papers now, there's an argument. Who should pay for travelers who want to, should you go to do testing in public or in private?
Yeah.
That's why there's so much confusion in government. The capacity is almost getting down to zero.
Indeed. Jimmy, we have to go right now. But before we go, what's coming up on Dear Bumi at 9?
Two young ladies that were born to Mr. and Mrs. Jimi Disu some 30-something years ago are running up a bill down the road to come and face me on Dear Bumi.
Wait. Your children?
Yeah, my daughters, yes. Two of them.
Two of them?
Two of them. They would say, look, want to... And I'm actually thrilled because I have loads of discussions with them. Okay. But in an open avenue like this, I'm going to be having a few surprises. But they are spoken for, so... one of them is spoken for, so the husband has that to contend with. But I'm waiting for a lot. I just thought to myself, give them a chance and see what happens.
And you're doing that on air?
Doing that on air, yes. It's entertainment.
With your daughters?
My daughters, yes.
Okay.
They're going to do Dear Bumi with my daughter. It's going to be interesting.
That should be fun.
Big fun. And thank God they left my grandsons at home.
Okay.
Those little...
You said they call you name, right?
Yeah, they call me. My grandsons call me. What they do is they hide behind the door and shout and say, Jimmy T2. Then they run it. Two rascals.
That is funny. Jimmy, thank you for coming around.
Okay,
we can't wait for Dear Bumi at 9.
We'll be back at 9.
All right, then. Lagos, let's go to break. When we return, we'll talk water resources bill. Many thanks to our sponsors, MTN. Dailies today will be back tomorrow at 7:30. The second part put together by Nigeria Info and sponsored by MTN Nigeria. We're right back in a moment. Stay here.
It's okay. That is okay. It's okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. It's okay. She off your mic.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk.